welcome. If you found your way here, chances are you're dealing with the fallout from a really tough job. I just want you to know this is a safe space to start figuring things out. So let's walk through this gentle guide to recovery together. Does this sound familiar? That little ping from an email and suddenly your heart is pounding? Wow, this question from a technology strategist just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's that feeling so many of us have but maybe don't know how to talk about. I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are so not alone in this. So why? Why do these feelings stick with us, long after we physically left the building? First, let's dive into that lingering echo and just validate that what you're feeling is absolutely real and it's a shared experience. Okay, let's be super clear about something. Workplace trauma is a real thing. It's not just a bad day at the office. It's something that can leave really smart, capable people feeling constantly on edge, just waiting for something bad to happen, even when you're in a new job that's totally safe. It's like your brain's alarm system got stuck in the on position. Let's talk about someone, we'll call him Gerald. Now, on the outside, Gerald was crushing it at his new company. He was getting praise, his projects were successful, but on the inside, he was constantly walking on eggshells. He was still haunted by a previous boss who would just fly off the handle without warning. That dread he was feeling was a ghost from his past job, and it just goes to show how deep these scars can run. And hey, if you ever find yourself second-guessing your decision to leave, just look at this. An MIT study found that a toxic culture is more than 10 times more likely to make someone quit than their paycheck. 10 times. So that decision you made, it wasn't an overreaction. It was an act of self-preservation. And honestly, recognizing that is a huge first step toward healing. You've already done the hard part. You made the choice to leave. So what's next? Well, now it's time to gently and intentionally close that chapter. This isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about giving yourself permission to actually move on. Let's look at how we can start doing that. Our brains are funny. They're actually wired for something called cognitive closure. It's this deep, powerful need to understand why things happened, to file it all away so we can make mental space for what's coming next. Without that closure, we just spin our wheels, replaying things over and over. When we create closure on purpose, we're basically telling the alarm center of our brain, the amygdala, that it's okay to stand down. So how do we get that closure? A really powerful way is through what you could call a releasing ritual. This is all for you. You could write a letter to your old job, or maybe to the person you were when you were there. Get it all out. You don't ever have to send it. Or maybe it's as simple as archiving all those old work files, creating that digital distance. And probably the most important part, acknowledge what you learned from it and give yourself a little grace. Forgive yourself. Each little step sends a huge message to your brain that says, we're done here. All right, so once we start to close that door on the past, the next step is all about taking your power back. This is where we stop letting that old, painful story define us, and we start writing a brand new one. And honestly, sometimes all it takes is a tiny shift in how you see things. The old story, the one that replays in your head, might be full of self-blame, right? Was I just a pushover? But the new story, it takes that pain and turns it into purpose. Instead of asking what you did wrong, it asks, okay, how can I practice being more assertive? It's not about feeling shame. It's about using what you learned to set really clear boundaries from now on. See that? You're turning scars into strengths. A huge part of this is getting ahead of those echoes from the past. Your triggers. Maybe it's a certain type of meeting or even just a tone of voice. The trick is to have a plan. First, you've got to know what they are. Then, before you walk into that situation, take a few deep centering breaths. Just calm your nervous system down. And finally, pay attention to the story you're telling yourself. If your brain screams, "Here we go again," just gently pause and ask, does that story really belong here right now? Okay, this next part is honestly my favorite because it's not just about healing from the bad stuff. It's about actively, intentionally letting the good stuff back in. After being on high alert for so long, we literally have to retrain our brains to notice and hold on to joy. Think of your brain like a guard dog that's been on duty 24/7. It's just constantly scanning for danger. Savoring is the practice that finally tells that guard dog, hey, you can rest now. It's safe. It's as simple as noticing a small good thing, like a nice comment from a coworker or a moment you felt proud of your work, and just holding on to that good feeling for an extra 10 or 20 seconds. It sounds small, but it literally helps rewire your brain to look for safety instead of threats. And listen, this doesn't have to be some big, complicated thing. It can be as easy as writing down 3 good things before bed, or sharing your daily high with a friend, or just taking a second to really feel it when you know you've used your strengths well. All these little deposits in your well-being bank account really add up. So as we start to bring this to a close, I want you to hold on to this thought. This whole journey isn't just about getting back to who you were before. It's about building a more resilient, more self-aware you. So please, above all else, be patient with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. There's no deadline for healing. Some days are going to be good, and some days are going to be tough. But every single step you take, every time you rewrite that story or savor one small moment of joy, you're not just healing. You're growing stronger. You are becoming more resilient than you ever thought possible. So let's end with this one simple question. It's an invitation to start this practice, like right now. Just think about your day so far. What is one small good thing, no matter how tiny it seems, that you can just pause and really truly savor today?